Community engaged research is throughout SHAPE, which is the institutional plan, is throughout Forward with Purpose, because increasingly institutions want to have impact, and you can't have impact unless you actually engage with the communities that are potentially going to benefit from the work you're doing.
So community engaged research is really central to the Faculty of Native Studies culture. It's really like a big part of who we are, what we do. A lot of our research is actually community connected and community driven. This is something that's really been around in Indigenous studies as a discipline for like 30, 40 years.
So at Augustana, we are a rural-based faculty of the University of Alberta, and so much of what we do here is focused on our community. So everything from our students working directly with elders and leaders at Masquachis Educational Schools Commission to help with curriculum development in the schools there, all the way to the city of Camrose and students working with the municipal leaders to design new policies.
I think just the way that Campus Saint-Jean itself, like the physical space, we're nested within the Francophone neighborhood of Edmonton, and we're serving the whole community. We are not only Faculté Saint-Jean, which is the academic unit, but it is actually the whole space serves the community around us, not only around us here in Edmonton, but around us in the province and in Western Canada. And we are the point that everybody reach out to. All parts of communities, whether it's the Francophone communities, whether the Francophone newcomers, the school boards, anything where French plays a role, we are central to that research community.
In some ways, I think this is one of the things that the College of Social Science and Humanities excelled at. Because by its very nature, social sciences research has a social element or a human element, which I think is why we do a lot of work in communities.
You know, historically, health is very hospital focused, but I think increasingly realizing how much of healthcare delivery happens outside of hospitals. And those living in inner cities, those without homes, I think feel the greatest impact of when healthcare is disrupted.
Departments like biological sciences or earth and atmospheric sciences or civil and environmental engineering or renewable resources. All of those departments have researchers that work in and around lands that we partner with community on. And so a lot of the work in the college is work in and around the environment. It's work that looks at aspects of water, of air, of land, and all of these areas of research require community engagement.
And I think, the alternative to that is a type of research that a lot of us are trying to avoid, which is this kind of extractive relationship where as a researcher you go in, you get the data you need, and then you leave, and you really have no long-term relationship, and the community doesn't benefit from it. And so this community engaged research is really at the core of a reciprocal, collaborative relationship that has mutual benefits for decades to come.
I think one of the reasons that the U of A has developed into such a hub for Indigenous research is probably that cultural, like institutional cultural connection, where what we do serves the community. Community engaged research also produces better results, right? Like you're engaging with the people it affects. You're going to have more information. You're going to have more people at the table. It allows you to really figure things out in a deeper way. It allows you to build research projects that allow you to start from a better starting position where you know what the needs are, you know what you're trying to address, and you're not figuring that out as you go.
It's easy to sort of neglect our neighbors. Edmonton, Spruce Grove, Alberta, and I think there are lots of communities in the province that I think sometimes don't see themselves in the sort of bigger, broader, grand scheme of U of A. And I think community engaged research is a way to do that. Is a way to sort of let our neighbors literally across the river know that what we are doing on this side of the river can help them in very practical, material ways.
In areas where health intersects with social equity, education, climate, sustainability, especially where those areas, truly intersect with the persons with lived experience. Community engaged research is the sort of model mechanism to develop meaningful relationships so that academic research can really have a true impact in the real world.
The research services infrastructure of the university help us understand these and makes us navigate this in a seamless way. So we do not have any problems with the research teams, the graduate students, research assistants, or research assistants in general, whether the ethics approvals that needs to be done. So we get a lot of guidance and a lot of directives that help us a lot they help me a lot navigate with the researchers.
Community engaged research is complex. And so if you don't have solution-focused research administration to solve all the many kind of challenges that can arise, the research won't get done and the impact won't occur. So having research administration that is flexible and motivated to support the community is absolutely necessary.
And so research administration, I think, is a critical and pivotal piece of the puzzle. So they providing an enabling function really to support that engagement. So we just think that those funding partners are different. The community partners and the expectations of the academic institution will be different than what the academic institution is used to. Having a community engaged, savvy research administration, I think, is going to be important.
So those research administrators are the eyes and ears of the research arm of the college that allows us to collaborate. Other piece, which I think is also really relevant, is the research administrators actually take some of the work in just understanding what has to be done for some of the research projects, and especially and even for community-based research, helps the researchers understand that landscape and the work that needs to be done, and can help the researchers with that work, and can also connect the researchers to people like Kaylee Morissette, for example, who is so important for some of those community relationships.
The future of community engaged research is really about co-creation of the research. So increasingly, most research, of course, is supported by research funding, and increasingly a number of the agencies that sponsor our work are looking to direct funds to the community itself. And so our researchers, instead of going to communities and saying, I have work that I'd like to do, that research idea starts at the level of the community, and the researchers are engaged to support the needs of the community. So I really think co-creation of the research, right from the ideation phase through the getting resources, and then eventually through the data and the products of the research is going to be really important.
It's not just about the co-creation, but it's also about community voices being part of that work. And I think the community voices are really important and really inform our understanding and what we know today, what the history of the knowledge is, and voices are important in what the directions and important questions to answer in the future are.
All of these community engaged research opportunities for our students are based in a strong relationship that we have with these community leaders, and that's what makes them such important opportunities for our students, and so valuable for the community partner, but also the university and the research that we're doing. It's all about relationship.
The impacts on those communities is greatest. So we have investigators who focus on those communities and are actively working in those communities and understanding things from their perspective. So I see those as examples where community engaged research has the potential for impact, and it can only grow if we sort of look at greater investment in those relationships as an institution. If we put a greater investment in those relationships with communities and evolve as an institution so that we can engage meaningfully, I think those are the opportunities we have.
So like, I think in a lot of ways, this should be the future of research, because it's just like better research, and it's serving people better. It's also, producing better results.